Chiefs Kingdom, listen up because this one is wild. The rumors are back, louder than ever. And they involve a name that still echoes inside Arrowhead Stadium like thunder. What if I told you that a reunion once thought impossible is suddenly being whispered again across the league? Yeah, we're talking about Tyreek Hill. And before you roll your eyes or get too hyped, there's a twist in this story that changes everything. This isn't the same situation as before, and it might not end the way fans are dreaming. So stay with me, because what I'm about to break down could reshape how you see the Kansas City Chiefs offense heading into 2026. And trust me, this conversation is deeper than just nostalgia. The buzz started after Miami moved on from Tyreek Hill, sending shockwaves through the NFL world. Immediately, fans began connecting the dots. Could Kansas City bring back one of the most explosive weapons Patrick Mahomes has ever had? On the surface, it sounds perfect. A reunion, a second run, unfinished business. But football isn't played on paper, and this situation comes with serious complications that can't be ignored. Because here's the reality. This version of Tyreek Hill is not the same player who left Kansas City as a dominant force, and that changes the entire conversation. Right now, the Chiefs' wide receiver room looks very different. Rashee Rice is emerging, Xavier Worthy brings elite speed, and Tyquan Thornton adds depth. This is a young, evolving group built for the future. Patrick Mahomes isn't lacking weapons. In fact, the offense is shifting toward a more balanced and unpredictable identity. That's something Andy Reid has been quietly building. So the question becomes, where exactly would Tyreek Hill fit into this puzzle if he came back? Let's talk about the biggest factor, the injury. Hill is dealing with a serious knee issue, and that's not something you just shake off, especially at this stage of a career. At 32 years old, with a decade of NFL mileage, recovery isn't just about getting back on the field. It's about whether you can still perform at an elite level. And history tells us that explosive players who rely on speed don't always return the same after major knee injuries. That's just the harsh truth of the game. Even analysts around the league are pumping the brakes on expectations. The idea of bringing Hill back. Interesting. Exciting even. But expecting him to be that guy again? That's where things get complicated. Because the last time we truly saw vintage Tyreek Hill dominating defenses the way Chiefs fans remember was a couple of seasons ago. Let's be real for a second, Chiefs Kingdom. If Hill does come back, this isn't about 100 catches or 1,200 yards anymore. This would be a completely different role. A situational weapon. A complementary piece. Not the centerpiece of the offense. And honestly, that might actually be the best-case scenario for Kansas City. Think about it, defenses already have to deal with Rice, Worthy, Travis Kelce, and Mahomes orchestrating everything. Now imagine adding Hill as a third or fourth option. That's not just dangerous. That's unfair. But again, only if expectations are realistic. Andy Reid's offense thrives on versatility. It's not about one superstar carrying the load. It's about multiple threats creating chaos. If Hill returns, he wouldn't need to be the guy. He'd just need to be a piece of the machine. And sometimes that's even more dangerous than having a single dominant star. There's also the emotional side of this. Chiefs fans still remember the magic. The deep bombs. The game-breaking speed. The unforgettable moments. That connection doesn't just disappear. But nostalgia can be dangerous when it clouds reality. Because the NFL moves fast, and teams evolve even faster. Kansas City has already started building its next chapter. Younger players are stepping up, and the offense is adapting to new strengths. Bringing Hill back would be adding to something new, not recreating the past. And that's an important distinction. Let's not forget the financial side either. Even a reduced role comes with a cost, and the Chiefs have to think long-term. Balancing contracts, developing young talent, and staying competitive year after year is what keeps this team at the top. Every move matters. And this one, it's bigger than just a reunion headline. So where does that leave us? Right now, it's all speculation. Nothing is confirmed. No deal is in place. But the possibility is real enough to have people talking. And that alone says a lot. Because when a name like Tyreek Hill hits the market, teams pay attention. And the Chiefs? They always evaluate every opportunity. If this reunion happens, it won't be about headlines. It'll be about fit, about timing, about expectations. And if those pieces don't align perfectly, Kansas City won't force it. That's how great organizations operate. But man, imagine the moment if it did happen. Arrowhead would erupt. Fans would lose their minds. And the entire NFL would be watching. Even if it's not the same Tyreek Hill, it would still be something special. So now I want to hear from you, Chiefs Kingdom. Would you bring Tyreek Hill back knowing everything we just talked about? Do you believe he still has enough left in the tank to make a real impact? Or should the team stick with the young core and keep building forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I'm reading everything. And if you love staying on top of Kansas City Chiefs news, rumors, and breakdowns just like this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another Chiefs fan. Because here, we don't just talk Chiefs. We live Chiefs. And here's where things get even more interesting, Chiefs Kingdom. Because while everyone is debating talent and nostalgia, there's a deeper layer to this story that nobody is really talking about. Chemistry. Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill once had one of the most electric connections the league has ever seen. We're talking about instant separation, broken coverages, and touchdowns that felt inevitable the moment the ball left Mahomes' hand. But that was then. This is a completely different version of the Kansas City Chiefs offense now. Mahomes has evolved. He's spreading the ball more, reading defenses differently, and winning in ways that don't rely on just one superstar receiver. That evolution matters. If Hill comes back, he's not stepping into the same system he left. He's stepping into something more complex, more distributed, and honestly more unpredictable. And that could either help him thrive in a reduced role or make it harder for him to find his rhythm again. Now let's flip the perspective for a second. What does this mean for Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy? These are young players who are still developing, still building confidence, and still carving out their identities in the league. They need targets. They need opportunities. They need trust from Mahomes. Bringing in a veteran like Hill, even in a limited role, changes that dynamic. It could accelerate their growth by forcing defenses to spread out, or it could slow things down if touches start getting redistributed. That balance is delicate, and Andy Reid knows it better than anyone. This isn't just about adding talent. It's about protecting the trajectory of your future stars. And let's not overlook Travis Kelce in all of this. Kelce is still the heartbeat of this offense. The safety blanket. The guy Mahomes looks to when everything breaks down. Adding Hill into the mix doesn't change that, but it does create more mouths to feed in critical moments. And in high-pressure situations, trust matters more than speed. Who does Mahomes trust when the game is on the line? That question alone could determine how big or small Hill's role would actually be. There's also the locker room factor. The Chiefs have built a strong culture. A focused, hungry, disciplined group that understands what it takes to win championships. Bringing back a former star always comes with expectations, attention, and pressure. And that can either energize a team or create distractions if things don't go smoothly. It's not just about what happens on the field. It's about how the entire organization handles the moment. Now imagine this scenario. Mid-season. The Chiefs are rolling. The offense is clicking. Rice and Worthy are making plays. Kelce is doing Kelce things. And then suddenly Tyreek Hill is added to the roster. Do you disrupt that rhythm? Or do you carefully integrate him piece by piece? That decision could define the season. Because timing in the NFL is everything. And speaking of timing, let's not ignore the possibility that this reunion never happens at all. There are other teams out there. Teams that might offer Hill a bigger role, more targets, or a system built around him. Kansas City isn't desperate. They're strategic. They don't chase headlines, they build dynasties. So if the move doesn't make sense, they'll walk away. No matter how exciting it sounds. And honestly, that's what makes this franchise so dangerous. They don't act on emotion. They act on vision. But still, you can't deny the intrigue. You can't ignore the what if. Because if everything somehow lines up, the health, the contract, the role, the chemistry, we could be looking at one of the most fascinating second chapters in recent NFL history. A reunion not built on dominance, but on adaptation. Not on being the guy, but on being the right piece at the right time. And that kind of story, that's rare. So once again, Chiefs Kingdom, I'm throwing it to you. Would you risk disrupting a rising offense for a chance at bringing back a legend? Or do you trust the current path and let the next generation take over completely? This is one of those decisions that defines eras, not just seasons. Drop your take in the comments. I want real opinions on this one. And if you're riding with the Kansas City Chiefs no matter what, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for more Chiefs breakdowns, and share this with your crew. Because the conversation is just getting started, and you don't want to miss what comes next.